Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Colton. I've got a great one for you today. In this video, we're going to be going out to California to photograph the IndyCar race at Laguna Secca. And what we're going to be trying to do is achieve a panning shot of an IndyCar. And panning is a bit of a difficult technique. And so lucky enough for me, I've been practicing this and I have a father who races cars. He's raced all kinds of cars over the years. I basically grew up at Texas World Speedway, but these days he races Miatas. And so I went out to one of his races and practiced this panning technique. And I left with actually several shots that I was really pleased with. And that gave me some really good practice doing this technique. I also participate in a local go-kart tournament. Nothing special there, but I did bring my camera to a few of those events to practice the panning technique and left with some shots that I feel like were pretty good as well. So I feel like I'm about as prepared as I'm going to be going into this. Obviously, we'll have to make the adjustment for the speed of the Indy cars. They go significantly faster than the Miata or the go-karts that I photographed. And we'll also have to get accustomed to the layout of the course and where we'll be standing relative to those cars. But it should be a really fun and interesting challenge, and I want to bring you along for this. But I need to head to the airport now, so without further ado, let's get this trip started. All right, so I forgot to mention, I'm actually going to be taking this trip with my father, which makes it a little extra special. Dad, what are you most looking forward to?
Oh, spending time with you, going and seeing the IndyCar race at a great track, much cooler weather, definitely.
All right, we made it out to California and the weather is so much nicer. This is incredible. We're at Laguna Secca. It's Friday practice, and this is an awesome opportunity for me to practice photographing the cars at speed and also dial in some of those settings ahead of Sunday. So practice is on. Let's go.
Running just in front of the racetrack.
All right, so we photographed the cars as they went flying by. Very, very challenging. but I wanted to share the settings I was using. So I was shooting at about 1/80th of a second, f14, ISO 100, probably a little on the brighter side. I do have an ND filter, but it doesn't fit the lens with the hood on. So go figure. But that's what I was doing for all of the panning shots. And then for the shots that were kind of freeze frame in motion, I got 1/1600th of a second, f 6.3 to f8, kind of just depending on the lighting on various points of the track, and then ISO 200, and got some really solid shots as well. But I think reviewing some of the photos in camera that I got some that will work and will look good. So I'll go back home and review them tonight before the race on Sunday to make sure there's not any last minute tweaks needed. But I also walked over here because I wanted to show some really cool classic cars, some Ferraris, really nice Ferraris in just like absolute mint condition. Pretty insane. Took a few photos of these beauts. There's also a red one over there that looks really, really amazing. I guess they're maybe auctioning these off. But yeah, absolutely beautiful cars.
Damn, that's beautiful.
We're back at the hotel, and I have reviewed some of the photos that I took during Friday practice with my Legion Go. It's a gaming handheld, but it has Windows, and so I actually have Lightroom installed on there, which was nifty for going through and reviewing the photos that I took. Now, I took about 1,000 to 1,200 photos, and out of those, maybe 20 to 25 are any good, but that includes some panning shots, which was the whole point of this, really to lock in those settings. So I now know what settings I'm going to use for the race on Sunday. And then also I got to do a lap around the track and really figure out where do I want to go on race day to photograph, so I don't have to kind of scramble to figure out where the best shots are. So from that standpoint, the settings are locked in, the locations are identified, and so I'm really ready to go. This is kind of cool. Get to see the car up close. All right, so it's race day here at Laguna Secca. Skipped qualifying yesterday and just did some sightseeing in California, but now I'm turning my attention back to IndyCar. It is very overcast, starting to drizzle a little bit, so I'm going to be keeping my fingers crossed that the sun comes out, I don't get a sunburn, and my hands remain steady. So let's get to it. All right, so the clouds have parted, the sun is out, and we're ready to race, folks. Wow, what a race. That was absolutely incredible. Those cars are super, super fast. I will say I did my best to keep my hands steady. A monopod might have been a good option. Maybe I should have done that, but at the end of the day, I think I got some really great shots. And my arms are actually not that tired, but my back definitely is from carrying all the gear around. So we'll go back and we'll review the photos, see what we got. But for now, I'm gonna find some food and some water.
The reveal. The reveal.
Oh, yeah. Cheers.
We're back from California and we're at the computer, and I've gone through and reviewed the photos that I took and narrowed it down. So I took 5,000 photos across the whole weekend, including IndyCar practice, the race, all of that. And out of those 5,000, I want to say I have about 200 that I think are actually good or usable. So I want to say that's like about a 4% hit rate, which I don't know if that's good or not for the panning technique, but I do think it's a case of practice makes perfect. And the more you do it, the better you're going to get. But hopefully that also gives you all a bit of context that when you go in to do this panning technique, it is a bit of a numbers game. You're going to shoot a lot of photos, hoping to get a couple treasures, right? So, I would go into it with that understanding to begin with, and maybe don't get upset if you're not seeing, hit after hit after hit, right? You kind of do a little bit of gold digging once you're done. But that being said, a few settings, if you're interested in trying this out for yourself, that I found to work well for me, probably most crucial is having a slower shutter speed. I found something between 1/30th and 1/125th of a second for the shutter seemed to work well. And then the other really big setting would be high speed continuous, right? Again, it's a little bit of a numbers game. As that car is driving by, you want to pan your camera at the same speed that the car is moving with a slower shutter so that the car remains sharp and in focus and the background is blurred. Well, as you do that, you want to be shooting off as many shots as you can, hoping that at least one of those shots is going to turn out decently. So a little bit of a numbers game. Though at the end of the day, I think the photos look awesome, and I'm happy to be able to share those with you guys.
You say slow down. I don't like to move too fast. It drowns the truth with things that are not real, and I really want us to be real with love that lasts. In the past I messed up, gave too much. What is it with time? Why can't we unwind? And all the hurt we deal with, I wanna leave my cares behind.
And that, my friends, is my IndyCar experience and my true first attempt at the panning technique with some really fast cars. I hope that you enjoyed the video, and I hope there were some photos in there that you really liked. If you have any questions about the panning technique or about my experience with IndyCar, drop those in the comments section. I'm more than happy to answer those. And if there's any part of the video that you like or anything that you want to comment on, that always makes my day as well. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like this or join me on this photographic journey, then hit the subscribe button, ring the bell, and that's going to keep you in the know for when the next video drops. But for now, I'm Colton. I'll see you in the next one.
Should let me speak.